If someone spoke to your daughter, your sister, or your best friend the way you spoke to yourself, would you like that? Of course not. So why do you let that voice live in your own mind? Maybe everyone thinks that you have it all together. You're successful, you're dependable, everybody can count on you. But behind closed doors, you are your worst critic. You keep replaying your mistakes, you downplay all of your accomplishments, and you keep telling yourself you will never ever change. After hearing all of those messages long enough, your brain starts to believe them. So today, I want to help you to do something that most people never learn how to do. This is not just about thinking positive or speaking positively. I want to help you to stop bullying yourself, because the most important conversations you have is the conversation that you have with yourself. And by the end of this video, I will show you why that voice exists, why it matters so much, and the simple mindset shift that can change everything for good. Let's get started. Welcome. I am Dr. Monique, and a few years ago, I realized something that completely changed my life. You can be successful. You can be the person that helps everybody else fix their problems and still be the person who is so hard on yourself. That was me. On the outside, people saw achievement, but on the inside, I was kind of mean to myself. I downplayed my accomplishments. I focused on my mistakes and anything that I did wrong. I just didn't have self-compassion. Even though I believe that I'm compassionate to my friends and families, but when it came to me, it was just different. Inside, I felt like all the things that I did just was not good enough, that I wasn't living up to this ideal that I had in my head. And as I was reinventing my life, I realized I could not become the best version of myself if I continued with these same old thoughts. So if you have ever been your own worst enemy, then this video is for you. Can I teach you something fascinating? So as someone who loves research, I want to encourage you with something that not only feels good, but is backed up by research and scripture. The conversation that you have in your head is not just background noise. It is truly influencing how you think, how you feel, and your behavior. Positive self-talk supports your emotional regulation, your attention, and your motivation, while negative self-talk is associated with greater emotional distress over time. So let me put it in everyday language. Basically, you will have what you say. And the Bible puts it this way, that death and life are in the power of the tongue. This is so important. So here's an example. If you keep saying, oh my goodness, I'm going to fall, chances are you will fall. And that's the same way just across life. If you keep saying, I am too old for this, I'm too old for that, your brain believes everything that you say about yourself, good or bad. So basically, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. It all comes down to your mindset and what you are saying to yourself. The words that you say will plant things and then also water what is planted. So if you don't like the things that are coming up in your garden, then you need to plant different seeds. So the question is not if you are growing. The question is, what are you growing? Because eventually you will live in the garden based on the seeds that you have planted with your mouth. So here is where I want to challenge the way maybe you've thought about negative self-talk in the past. Some people simply think it's a bad habit, but I think it is much more than that. I think that many of us, because of our things that have happened in our past, or maybe even things that have happened to our parents and to our ancestors, that this negative self-talk had been a survival skill. And maybe our parents taught us those things to help us to navigate very difficult situations, because it was much better to be hard on yourself than to have the outside world and the whole system to be hard on you. So for many of us, negative self-talk was a way to adapt and to survive very, very harsh conditions. So think about messages that you maybe grew up hearing, or things that you may say to yourself. Maybe being strong, persevering, never showing weakness. Maybe those things have helped you to achieve all of the things that you have been able to achieve and overcome a lot of obstacles and barriers. Maybe they helped you to endure a difficult childhood, or to raise amazing children, or to care for your parents, to deal with relationship drama and trauma, to build a career, to go to school, and to do all of these amazing things that you have done in your life. And if they did, then we can be grateful for all of the things that they brought us through. But here's a truth that changed my life. The language and the thoughts that help you to survive and to overcome in one season can be the same language and the same thoughts that can keep you stuck right where you are. Because survival language can teach you how to endure, but it doesn't teach you how to heal. It can teach you how to keep performing, but it doesn't necessarily teach you how to receive from others. It can teach you how to just keep going and how to get things done, but it doesn't teach you how to relax and rest and to recover. So we're going to be thankful that our words and our thoughts in the past have gotten us to this point, that we were able to survive, but we know that God created us to do more than just survive. We are supposed to be thriving, right? He wants us to enjoy life to the full till it overflows. Being able to change from negative self-talk to positive self-talk will change everything, like change the whole trajectory. And all of this starts with the conversation that you are having with yourself. Before I teach you how to change your self-talk, I need you to believe these three truths. Truth number one: the person that speaks to you the most is the person that you will believe. And that's why your inner voice, your inner dialogue is so very important. Truth number two: you cannot shame yourself into becoming the best version of you. So let me ask you something. When you criticize yourself, when you are mean to yourself, does that ever make you feel better? Does it make you love yourself more? Does calling yourself lazy ever make you more disciplined? If you just tear yourself down and beat yourself up, does that give you more peace? Of course not. Growth does not come from shame. It grows from you giving yourself some grace and some compassion. Sometimes people confuse self-criticism with self-improvement. You can love yourself and be nice to yourself while still wanting more and still doing more. Truth number three: the relationship you have with yourself is the standard for all of your other relationships. This may be the most important thing that I say today, because the way that you treat yourself and the way you talk to yourself teaches other people how to treat you. Healthy relationships don't start when the other person changes. It starts on the inside of us. So once we believe that we are worthy of respect and care and consideration and compassion, then we will treat ourselves better, and then we won't allow ourselves to accept anything less than what we deserve. Here's the good news. Your self-talk is not a personality. It's not that you were either born positive or negative. and that's just something you have to deal with. Self-talk is a skill and it is learned behavior. So if negative self-talk was learned, it also can be unlearned. And positive self-talk is something that you can do on purpose. So this is where affirmations come in. Affirmations are not just wishful thinking. You're not just saying things. You are really changing the way that you think. You're changing what you know is possible for yourself. This is why I created a video of daily affirmations, and I will link that in the description below. It is so important that you speak the future that you truly desire to see in your life. I have a 7-day challenge for you to become aware of your inner dialogue and to actually change it. So when you hear yourself saying something negative, stop, think about what you said, and then rewrite that sentence, but with compassion and hope and love. So, for example, if you hear yourself saying, I will never change, you can rewrite the sentence and say, I am growing and I am healing, right? If you hear yourself saying, I am too old to do that, you can rewrite, it is never too late for me to transform my life. Imagine a life where you wake up encouraged instead of defeated. Imagine making your decisions from confidence instead of fear. Imagine being a person who cheers herself on instead of beating yourself down, where you are your biggest cheerleader. If you remember nothing else from this video, I want you to know that you cannot shame yourself into healing. You cannot criticize yourself into confidence. And you cannot bully yourself into becoming the best version of yourself. Speak life over yourself. Choose compassion over criticism. When your words change, your future changes. I believe there are 2 videos that will be very, very helpful for you. One is you teach people how to treat you, and the other one is daily affirmations. This video is part of a series that I've been doing on boundaries and self-love. So subscribe so that you don't miss anything. Until next time, be blessed.